Welcome into the Kings recap show. Ramie with you on the Sactown Sports YouTube page this evening, and they will be lighting the beam shortly. I'm coming to you from my bedroom with a view of the beam, if and when it should go up during this broadcast as the Kings top the Spurs 119 to 109, the final in San Antonio tonight. And really the game all night closer than that score might indicate as the Kings come out on top by double digits. But the Spurs, they were in it all night, man. And actually, after the first quarter, they led this one 31 to 30, despite Domantas Sabonis's best efforts there in the first quarter, just dominating from the beginning, a common theme throughout the evening. 17 points and 5 rebounds for Domas there in the first quarter. But other than that, not much working for the Kings in the first. They were just 2 of 11 from three. They shot 58% or San Antonio shot 58% from the field, and that's how they got out of that first quarter with a 31-30 lead. Defense picked up in the second quarter for Sacramento, though, and that's when things started to turn, and they took the lead in the second quarter and never looked back. But like I said, close game all evening long. 10 points off turnovers for the Kings there in that second quarter. De'Aaron Fox started to feel it. He went off for 8 points there in that second quarter. He'd show up in the fourth quarter again, as you'd expect. We'll get there in just 1 second. But again, even though they were shooting the ball very well there in the first half and in the second quarter, overall, the three just not falling. They were shooting 56% from the field by halftime, but just 2 of 13 from three-point land. So the three was just not falling, but thanks to the work they were doing in the paint, and by the way, at halftime, outscoring San Antonio in the paint 46 to 32, and with the turnovers and the fast break points where they outscored San Antonio 12 to 2 in the first half. Sacramento started to sort of pull away there in the second quarter. They have a 7-point lead, 61-54, as they go into halftime. Then third quarter starts, 6-0 Spurs run, almost right out of the gates. You have a quick Brown timeout. That 6-0 Spurs run included a Harrison Barnes travel, and 2 Keegan Murray missed free throws, and Mike Brown had seen enough. He wanted to talk about it, something we've seen all season long from the Kings head coach, and they responded. Sabonis and Monk get the two-man game going there in the third quarter. Sabonis 14 points in the third quarter, 3 of his baskets coming on Malik Monk assists. We're going to talk about Malik Monk in just a second. Once again, you're free to enter the conversation. Leave your comments right there on the YouTube page. Monk himself had 4 points, and they win the points in the paint battle again there in the third quarter, but the Spurs stay in it with some hot shooting. Neither team was hitting the three, but the field goal percentages at the end of the night and throughout the evening high for both of these basketball teams, and both of them doing most of the work in the paint. Real sloppy start for the Kings there in the fourth quarter. 2 quick fouls, 2 turnovers. Once again, Mike Brown had enough, and he called a timeout. He wanted to talk about it, and they responded again. And most of all, of course, the man responding was De'Aaron Fox, doing his fourth quarter thing on the eve of the day when he should be named to the All-Star team tomorrow. We'll see if he is, but he definitely should be named to the All-Star team tomorrow. Mr. Fourth Quarter, he comes in with Harrison Barnes wakes up. Malik Monk continues his big night to help and pull away and put this thing away. 119 to 109, the final in San Antonio tonight. Looking still no beam, but I'm sure it will be lit before the evening is up. Earlier today, I was doing the crossover with Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports 1140, as we are now live 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Catch them 11 to 2, following the Carmichael Dave show with Jason Ross, and then Cattles and myself take over at 2 p.m. But Deuce with a couple of stats in this one about how the Spurs are a very good rebounding team. They're a very good points in the paint team, and Pirtle has kind of had Domantas Sabonis's number coming into tonight and entering this game this evening. So I was watching for that after Deuce had pointed that out. And Pirtle had a good game, not a great game, and DeMontis definitely won that battle. Pirtle finishing with 18 points and 12 rebounds. He'll take that on most nights from your center. And so a good night for Jakob Pirtle, but obviously DeMontis Sabonis wins tonight with 34 points, leading all scores. But then you take a look at the overall categories of rebounds and points in the paint. And Spurs out rebounded the Kings tonight, 29-25, but only 5 of those were of the offensive variety. And that's excuse me, 8 of those were of the offensive variety. And that's really what you're trying to prevent is those offensive rebounds and those second chance points. So you minimize that and points in the paint. Honestly, neither of these teams did a great job of defending the paint. 68 points for San Antonio, but Kings, largely due to Domantas Sabonis, 74 points in the paint tonight, a season high, the first time that they've scored 70 points in the paint this season. So in both of those categories that I was watching for tonight, the Kings win the battles and come out victorious in this one. And the other thing that really helped in this, Kings very clean on the offensive side with just 9 turnovers to the Spurs 17 and the Kings getting 23 points off those turnovers. So converting those 3 stats right there, along with big nights from De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, enough for you to win this game this evening. But the other thing I want to talk about, because really for most of the night, outside of Sabonis and outside of Fox and outside of the overall good teamwork that they were doing in the paint, there wasn't much working offensively for this team other than Malik Monk who had 22 points tonight. I mentioned he and Domas had the two-man game going there in the third quarter. He finished with 5 assists on the night. And Katie pointed this out on the NBC Sports California broadcast. That's now 3 straight games to open this road trip that Malik Monk has looked like the guy who Mike Brown was touting for a sixth man of the year for much of this evening. So that's a very good sign for the Kings that Malik Monk is waking up and regaining that form that we saw early in the season when again Mike Brown was telling everybody who would listen that he should be the sixth man of the year and I could not agree more when Mike Brown was saying that. Obviously, he hasn't been showing much of that sixth man of the year form but a big win and a really good sign that Malik Monk is waking up, and hopefully the big night for De'Aaron Fox, the big fourth quarter again for De'Aaron Fox is enough that to convince put him over the top for the All-Star spot, which will be announced tomorrow. A couple comments here on the YouTube page. Kais, I don't know Kais, Case, not sure. Says some bonus and Fox, best duo in the league. What a show they put on tonight. And Adolf says Malik Monk was electrifying. Yeah, he was. And you can tell he's got a little extra bounce in his step, a little extra swagger to himself in these 3 games. And I think that's translating into some good performances from Malik Monk and the Kings sixth man, who they're gonna need, man. They're gonna need if they're gonna be a contender, if they're gonna be taken legitimately here down the stretch. They're going to need Malik Monk to find that form that we saw early in the season when he looked like the sixth man of the year. Really good signs for the Kings this win over the Spurs tonight in San Antonio. 119-109, the final. They are indeed lighting the beam over Golden One Center. That's 2 in a row. That's 2-1 on the road trip. We'll see if they can keep stacking wins on this 7-game road trip. Keep moving their way on up Western Conference standings as they sit there firmly with the 3 seed. That's going to do it for the Kings recap show here on the Sactown Sports YouTube channel. I've been Ramie Mackloff with you this evening. Much more on the Kings and this win all day, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow on Sactown Sports. Carmichael Dave kicks things off at 6 a.m. Deuce and Mo at 11, and then the Cattles and Ramie show at 2 o'clock. I'll talk to you then. Thanks for watching.